excited to be filming in our new house, and we're like figuring out where to do things and whatever else. But we'll get it together at some point. Okay, maybe not. I'm lying because we got four kids and it's no. Anyway, we're functioning. That's the important part. Okay, so as you know, we have just moved to a whole new state, which is a task in its own. So we have come up with 8 different things that we found are extremely helpful when you have to move with kids. So, and this is like of any age, but we have 4 kids. The oldest is 7, and we have 3 under 3. So that makes it an even bigger challenge than moving with older kids. So these are the things that we have come up with so far to help like make the entire process smoother because that was a really big learning thing for both of us because that was like insane. So yeah, okay, let's go. So the first one is have a clear plan. You map out with your partner so you don't work against each other, causing strife and bickering. Because we found that that happens to us like even on a regular basis. Like let's say we're even just trying to clean the house. I'll try to do one room and he'll try to do the other room. But of course we're trying to do it at the same time so nobody's actually watching the kids and then that creates a whole other fiasco. So we found that not only doing it on a regular basis, but especially while moving makes it so much easier and it flows more smoothly. Unlike my speech.
All right. Number two, start about 2 weeks ahead of time if you can with non-essentials. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So since we moved like summer, basically end of like summertime, we packed away like all of our winter clothes, that kind of stuff that we know we're not going to be using anytime soon, and um, put that like in boxes and storage and all that kind of crazy. Our little one is making a debut. Just say hi.
Whoa,
Say
face
hey,
all in the
man.
camera. What's going on, Micah?
Cheese. Cheese. So that is no, not nice. So that is what we found works best is go for the stuff that you don't use on an everyday basis or that you're not getting used in the foreseeable future. Pack all that away, get that done first, and then work on the stuff that you would need to do closer to the move. So 3, buy your kids' favorite snacks, frozen meals, etc., whatever that may be, a week before the big move, so you'll have it for when you're the busiest. Because we did not prepare, like we didn't even think about that factor of it until all of it was going on, all of it was happening. So we ended up having to like hurry up and like go get McDonald's and go get this fast food and get this fast food and all of that adds up. It becomes so expensive. So to help reduce the cost of that, we recommend like buying your kids like let's say they like chicken or get them fries like ours do if they're at that stage. Go ahead and buy that ahead of time. Have it in your freezer so when you're noticing that your normal schedule like oh let's say they have lunch at like 12 at 11:30, go ahead and start popping that stuff in the oven. That way they can eat it, and you won't have to spend as much money on fast food like we did. Because that was like, I would say a good like $300 during the entire moving process spent on fast food that we didn't have to spend if we would have already had like their fries, chicken nuggets, and whatever foods that they eat already at the house.
Right.
So we are on 4, which is also related to food. Not saying that fast food is bad, but how to budget with it.
Right.
So
Okay, so number four, budget for some fast food, takeout, etc. Because you'll be busy and tired and don't want to clean dishes on top of moving. That's also pretty true. Like you said, like fast food isn't necessarily bad, but you definitely want to create a budget for it while moving. I mean, it is convenient, but at the same time, I think, with that planning, the step that you mentioned before, of like planning ahead, that way you can cook the food on time according to whatever your child's nap schedule or whatever you have going on. I think that that's feasible, I guess.
Because it's like, obviously,
we got to a point where we had to pack up like the stuff that we cook with, like all of our utensils, our plates, even those kind of things. But at that point, that's when like your fast food budget would come into play, like maybe a few days before, whenever y'all have to leave.
Okay, sorry. I want to jump in right here. That's a good point that you just made because it's like the thing is that when you're in the process of moving, you kind of want to, you know, have a cup. Everybody should have one cup, spoon, fork, a knife, a plate, you know, and like a saucer, you know, bowl, whatever. One for each family member. And then that last week, that's when you should pack those things up and then to go the fast food route because that'll really help with the budgeting of the move and the stress as well. Because that way you don't have to wash and clean that much. But I just thought that would be a helpful tip.
And that's also the perfect segue into number 5. We have 5 disposable paper plates, cups, utensils, napkins, paper towels, etc. Because once you pack all that stuff away, if you keep out, like, let's say, 5 trash bags or whatever, then literally all you have to do after you eat your meals, dump stuff. Throw it away, get rid of it, out of sight, out of mind, and make sure life is a lot easier. Because trying to clean dishes on top of packing and moving and putting your stuff in a storage or a moving van, however you're doing it, it just
brings it like up
here to where it's like it's another thing that you have to take care of, and moving is already ridiculous even.
Right.
Number 6.
All right, number 6. If you do decide to cook, use as many disposable things that are possible, such as aluminum cooking pans, servingware, and etc. That's pretty good too. Like she was saying, you know, like have your disposable items handy because you will need them. Definitely, especially if you have a big family like us, 4 kids.
Yeah. Feeding a family of 6
takes a lot of food, especially since we have 2 boys. They eat as much as a grown man. It's ridiculous. I feel like I'm already feeding a football team before we've even reached that point in life. So, like, let's say, and also some parents, they don't like to give their kids fast food. They prefer everything to like be made at home because they want to like watch nutritional intake, or if they have like dietary restrictions. I've been a teacher. Some of my kids can only eat this type of food or have this type of diet, I should say.
Right.
So if that's your case, then what I would suggest you do is keep all of like your stuff to cook, whatever, but go to the dollar store. There's like 2 things of aluminum like tin pans in different sizes that you can put everything in, cook, and eat on your disposable plates
and all that kind of stuff.
So having that around makes your life so much easier. Alright, number 7, don't procrastinate.
Don't do it. Time is everything
with kids, and start as early as you can. My projected, I would say, timeline that would be ideal is 2 weeks out. That way you can start with all the non-essentials, get that done, packed, put away wherever, whatever. Even like, let's say that you're bringing everything with you in a moving truck. We put most of our stuff in storage except for the things that we're going to use like within the first 2 or 3 months of living here.
Right.
That way we can go back and get everything that we need and bring it. So no matter how you're doing it, whether it's a moving truck all at the same time or you're doing it in increments, whatever, do that first. That way also, let's say you pick a closet or like one room that you designate to putting all the stuff in, or if you're in a 1-bedroom apartment, put one corner of with stuff that you're gonna have packed beforehand. Do all that, put it over there so it's out of the way, but it's already done and you don't have to rush and do it. And you get to do number 8.
Okay. Keep communication open between you and your partner. Very big. Very big. Okay, this is like this should be number 1. In my opinion, but
we messed that up.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna pretend that we did it like, oh no, we're fabulous. No, it was bad. It was terrible.
Yeah. Because it's like we each have our way of doing things, and the way that we do things is good. Like the way she does things, like man, I don't. It's good. The way I do things, she'll probably say, yeah, like he's good at doing it this way.
We just do it
differently because we're two separate
Exactly.
people.
We have two different thought processes, two different priority rankings of how to do
Exactly.
things.
So I would say that even though we're both good at, like, let's say,
What
like,
we do.
yeah, and whatever it is, like we're good at that. But the challenge is when we both have to do the task at the same time.
Mhm.
That's the thing. That's when communication is very important.
Yeah. Teamwork
Seriously.
makes the dream work. Like it's
Yeah.
So cliche, but as I've gotten older and also being in our marriage for 7 years now, that is probably the most important factor in it, is working together as a team. And we actually like are putting that, I guess, I don't want to say like drilling it into our kids' heads, but we definitely reinforce it that with whomever you marry, you have to be a team.
Mhm.
And we always tell them, like, if dad says something, mom says it too. If mom says something, dad says it too. We don't go against each other. So becoming
I guess an example.
and actually practicing that is extremely difficult,
Yeah.
but it's completely essential.
Mhm.
And the more that you do it, the easier that it becomes. Because we've been together 9 years total,
Yeah.
7 years married, and we've learned so much about each other, and we're still learning about each other. It's like a never-ending story. Like the actual movie, which I haven't seen in a long time. I should look at
Anyway, side note,
that.
Yeah.
we're gonna
What?
fix that.
Casper.
I said gasp.
Oh.
We're gonna fix that. I
Okay.
can't believe you've never seen it. How can you see Dark Crystal but not never-ending story?
Anyway, we digress.
But seriously, like, that is the biggest thing that is going to make everything easier. Because I'm gonna tell you a little bit about stuff that happened. I wanted to pack all of, like, I guess, like, my possessions, like my things that I wanted, like my jewelry and like things that my grandmother who passed away gave me, things like that. Like, I'll never be able to replace. I wanted to pack those at the end. That way, I knew that they were, I guess, safe, like wrapped up, all this kind of stuff. Or I wanted to bring them with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd rather pack them at the beginning and put it away. A lot
No,
of my
you wanted to
things.
pack them at the beginning.
Well,
That was like the first thing that you wanted to do.
but it didn't happen that way.
No, it did not.
And I actually ended up losing it. I lost all of it. And I am still, like, very upset. And it's also because we operate differently. I would go, like, overnight and I wanted to do things, and he'd be like, no, don't be there too long, don't do this, don't do that. So it's, in a way, it's best to let each other do things their way, but you have to clearly, like,
Compromise.
yeah. Because he wanted to do it like this, and this, and I
Okay.
wanted to do it like this, and this.
Okay, but
So-
here's the thing.
What?
Okay, so like I know you have like a pretty big military presence. So for all my military family
Yeah.
members watching this video, I'm a veteran. So with that being said, y'all probably already know where I'm going with this. We have a way to do things and a time to do things, very regimented. So my plan for moving was, let's focus on one room at a time. So that way when that room is done, it's done. And that consists of everything in that room.
Right.
But I have to realize, I guess being a veteran, we should probably make a video about this.
We have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, because it's like, we should make a video about like families and what they go through,
The
processing.
adjustment.
Yeah, all that. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. So I guess that's something that I'm still learning, is that, look, I'm not in the military anymore. My family is, we're not in that dynamic anymore. So I have to learn how to,
Adjust to civilian life.
yeah, exactly. And that's a task. So wives, be patient.
Yeah.
Husbands, if your wives are in the military, be patient. Because it really is,
It's completely changing your life.
yeah, it really is. It really is. Military does a good job at
Programming.
getting you to do things a certain way. I'll put it that way.
So this whole experience has taught us a lot about ourselves, but also a lot about each other,
Right.
and how to handle that along with kids on top of it. So these are the biggest things that we have found and learned through this entire experience, which whenever we do move again,
in like a year,
Yeah.
right around a year,
year-ish,
something like that.
we are going to be so much better prepared and starting out farther out. Does that make sense?
Like, if this
Because
is
your
I'm your
project-
husband, I know where you're trying to go, but let me help you navigate through that statement. What you're trying to say is that since we have gone through this situation, we will be prepared in the future on how to address certain things as they come about.
there you go. See, that's
That's all I need here in my life. But yeah, so we wanted to share that with y'all. Anything else that you can think of off the top of your head that we want to know?
No, but I am looking forward to doing some more videos.
hey, yeah.
Finally! It took how many years to get you like on board?
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
But yeah, no, but honestly, like, yeah.
So, as you hear, look for more to come. Hey. Okay, guys, we'll see you in our next video.
Alright, bye.